Hi, everybody. Cheryl and Lady coming to you from the Ladies Garden and Home. And it's May, the lusty month of May. I didn't make that up, that's from Camelot. But anyway, and today's video, we're going to talk about the tasks that need to be done in the beginning of May, the first 2 weeks. So I hope you join us. Very busy time of year, and so to keep from getting too overwhelmed and putting too much on my plate at once, I'm splitting the month up like I like to do in the busier months between the beginning of the month and the end of the month. Well, it's been a rainy couple of days, and we have even more rain forecasted. It'll be like almost a 9-day stretch, I think, when we're done, but hopefully by the weekend it's going to be nice and sunny. Anyway, because of that, I'm a little behind on what I wanted to get done towards the end of April. So to start with the beginning of May, what I'm going to be doing is transplanting the leeks, the celery, the fennel, that I can get planted this week, provided we get a break in the rain. I'm also going to get in some of the second sowings of things, the succession that I'd like to do. So for example, carrots, I already planted some about 2 weeks ago. I'll get some more going, more lettuce. Some of it's already come to maturity, and we've been eating a couple of salads a week, but I'd like to have more later on. And then also potatoes. I planted up 4 grow bags of potatoes, but I've got 6 more varieties that I'm going to be trying, and I'm going to get those in. So if I can get those in before it's time to plant the warm weather things, then I can split things up a little bit better. I'm also going to do some first sowings of a couple of things directly in the ground, my beets and also radishes. I didn't put any radishes out earlier. I probably should have, but those are the kinds of beets and radishes are the kinds of things that I like to kind of pop here and there when I have kind of space in the garden between maybe 2 vegetables. And then over the course of the next 2 weeks, I really have to get going on my flowers. I have some that I started inside that need transplanting out. For example, have borage, calendula, and chamomile that I would like to plant out in a medicinal garden bed that I've kind of dedicated to the healing flowers. And so that bed I need to amend, I need to weed, I need to take out some of the carrots and other things that were growing in that bed. So the other thing I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be starting from scratch a brand new garden bed, and that's going to be for flowers. I'm actually going to be making a video when I do that, so please stay tuned. And then I've got sunflowers that I would like to start, and I had debated on whether I should direct sow them or start them inside. And I think that I've decided that I'm going to start them inside and then transplant them because they were very yummy to the squirrels, if I can remember last time I tried direct sowing them. So I'll get them started this week. And then I have a pretty large area that's what I call my shade bed. And I'm going to be picking up the begonias and the impatiens and things like that I'm going to be planting over there. But I haven't done anything to get the bed ready. So I do have to get it cleared out of all of those weeds and debris that sticks and stuff. And I also have to amend it with compost and some fertilizer. And I'm going to be doing that in 2 other of the vegetable garden beds that I did clear out, but I haven't put the compost and the fertilizer down yet. So that I have to get done as well. Then I have another couple of garden beds right by the base of my pine tree. So I need to get that cleared out as well. And what I'd like to do for that is direct sow some sweet peas that I'd like to see kind of climb up the outside of the tree. And I'm going to try kind of scatter casting marigolds and zinnias in there. I did start a lot of marigolds and zinnias inside, but they didn't make it. I only have, I think, 3 of each to transplant. So I have those. I have cosmos. The cosmos is doing well, and that can go in too. So, oh, and the nasturtium. I think I'll wait till the second part of May to put in the nasturtium when I put in my warm weather veggies, because just pop it into the corners in areas that's not going to be taken up by the vegetables. Of course, after all of this rain over the last couple of days, I'm going to really have to make sure that I keep up with yard care, weed whacking, and weeds. Weeds are popping up everywhere, so I do have to make sure that I keep on top of that so they don't get, so they don't get overgrown. And of course, I've got to prep for all of the warm weather veggies that are going to be going out. As soon as the nights start hitting the 50s for the overnight low, that's when I'm going to plant out my tomatoes. But I think I'm going to wait for it to be in the 60s at night, that's Fahrenheit, to plant out the peppers and the eggplant because they really like a lot more warmth. So that being said, I'll be doing that towards the end of May. Hopefully, we'll reach those temperatures by then. But I do have to prep and amend those beds as well. Most of them I've weeded and I've gotten rid of the old debris. Besides just amending the bed, also getting the structures in place that are going to support the vegetables, things like stakes for the peppers and poles for the pole beans, and making sure the trellising is okay for the cucumbers. So that's the kind of stuff that I also am going to be prepping for. So when I break up the month into part one and part two, it does seem to make it a lot less, well, I use the word overwhelming a lot, but so when I break up the month into two parts, the first 2 weeks and the second 2 weeks, it doesn't sound like it's going to be as overwhelming. And that's kind of what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to stay organized with my lists, and I'm also really trying to hold to only working about an hour to an hour and a half a day, usually in the evenings after work and before dinner. But that has helped, I think, significantly with me to cutting back on the aches and pains that I usually get at the beginning of the season when my body's just not really that used to it yet. So that's been helping. But that being said, because there's so much to do, I've got to stick to that 1 to 1.5 hour every day. Now, because it's been torrentially pouring, there's not many things that I could be doing outside. Sure, when there's a break in the weather, I can run out and pop in some carrots or whatever, but I mean the work like the amending the beds and that kind of stuff. So in that case, what I'm trying to do is take care of the seedlings inside the house, in the greenhouse, and also sow some seeds, and just basically try to make myself useful on days that, well, the weather doesn't cooperate. I'd be curious to know what you're planning on doing over the course of the next 2 weeks in our very busy month of May. You may be in your area way ahead of me as far as warmth and planting and that kind of thing, or you may be behind, or you may be planting things that are completely different. If you recall, I've decided my goals for 2023 video, I decided to kind of scale back the number and types of vegetables that I'm growing and really kind of concentrate more on um, what we eat, what is practical, and then within those try to find some varieties that we might prefer. For example, the potatoes. So anyway, I'd be curious to know what you guys are up to. If you don't mind leaving a comment in the section below. I'll be back in 2 weeks to give you the rundown on what I'm doing the second part of May, so I hope you stay tuned for that. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a like. Please subscribe if you haven't already, and also share it with some friends that you know might like gardening as well. And from the Ladies Garden and Home, enjoy your gardening journey.